Hey there, my name is Mike Lathrop, and today I want to talk about a commission I did of the skyline of my hometown, Calgary, Alberta, in a lovely sunrise. Let's get into it. Seriously, let's get into it? I'm not going to say let's get into it. So here we go. This is the finished painting, so let me tell you a little bit about how it got here. Right, so this is the photo that was supplied to me by the collector, but I did modify it. I wanted to take out some of the extraneous details that I didn't think really added to the composition of the painting. I thought the city was too dark. So I knew that I would likely make the city a lot brighter than it appears in this photograph. Step one is to grid the painting out. So I applied a grid on the photograph, and then I usually do dots rather than an actual line of grids on my painting. And here I'm just filling it in, basically blocking it out. This is almost like a paint by numbers part of this process. I really feel like I get the painterliness and creativity in it later, but here I'm just filling in the colors. This is when I start painting. I've got some swoopy lines going in. This is where I really start to feel the character of what this painting is going to look like. I did find I liked the detail I had on the city, but I wanted to mess around with the sky some more, so I masked it all out with masking tape so that I could paint more swoopy lines without worrying about the detail that I'd worked so hard to put in on the city. And at this point, the sky is pretty complete, I'm thinking anyway. Now I wanted to go through and put in a bunch of detail on the buildings, basically trying to go pretty tight, doing individual windows and things like that. But I realized this is a problem with commissions. You always kind of want to stay true to the photo because that's what you and your collector have agreed upon. But also, this is a Mike Lathrop painting, and so I want to take some liberties, and I want to make this painting my own. So I kind of tried a couple different ways of painting the buildings that felt more like it was part of my style. And this is really what I settled on, and I gotta say I'm very happy with it. I like the way it looks. I wanted it to look a little bit abstract, but not too abstract. I wanted there to be some details for the eye to grasp onto, but I didn't want to try to literally create every building and every window. I did realize at one point that the sky was a little too bright on the left side. I wanted to have more of a gradient from the left to the right where the sun is. I did mask over that little bit again to darken the sky again without having to worry about the details that I've spent so much time putting in the rest of the painting. And then it's just a matter of kind of going through from background to foreground, and often from dark to light, just trying to go through and put in some details the way I like, make sure the values are exactly what I want. When I say values, I mean the darkness or the lightness, not what color it is. So lastly here, I'm just filling in all the little details on the cars. I kind of messed up a few little things, and the wonderful thing about acrylic paint is there's anything you don't feel like you're happy with, you can always just paint over it until you get it the way you like. I'm using a T-square to put in the supports that hold the walkway in place off the arch of the bridge. So we're getting pretty close here. I'm really just getting down to the nitpicky little details and just putting in some detail in the concrete, making it a little more interesting. I want the blocks to read as the blocks that they are, but I know that if it's just a solid mass, it's not going to be as compelling to look at. And I always feel like I can make it better, so I do, where I can. I do want to make interesting shapes where I can, and give the eye something to hold on to and explore. One of the things that gives this work a lot of character are the cars. So I wanted to get them as right as I could. Again, not being too literal. I just wanted to get the feeling of being there, seeing some early morning traffic, commuters kind of coming and going. A wonderful thing about the city is just that you're surrounded by people. And the feeling of that early morning kind of traffic where the road is pretty clear, but there are people coming and going was something I thought about and I wanted to convey in this work. And this is the part where it's just so hard to let go. At the very end, when you keep on finding a little thing you want to change, something else that you might want to try, People often ask me, how do I know when I'm done? And I never really do know when I'm done. One thing I found that works really well is to decide when I'm getting close to done. I put the painting away in a place where I can't see it for several days so that I can come back to it later and approach it with fresh eyes. I find that way I can look past the things that were just a part of my attention that I couldn't get past, and I often see the things that are actually bigger problems that need to get fixed. And in the end, I think it was a pretty successful painting. I certainly like it. I was really happy with the way that the buildings came out. It felt like it was coming from my hand and an expression of what I wanted to put out there. I just played with the paint until it became a collection of shapes and lines and colors that I was interested in. So thanks for joining me today. You didn't really join me. I'm here alone in my studio. That's the truth. Thank you for watching this today. I appreciate it.